how can a referee manage the magnitude of the participants? Is there a limit for each referee or lifeguard
No,
to handle the batch of? Is there a standard? How do you manage that hundreds of participants? In the India, I saw more than 400 per
yep,
batch.
yeah, great question. Yeah, the Flower Sea Swim we just did a couple of weeks ago, a little over 600 swimmers, and they did a mile swim. It was just from one point to another. But they had, and the mile swim gets done, like a half hour, 45 minutes, and almost everybody's done. But they had a bunch of volunteers out there on paddle boards. They have safety craft. The referee is separate from the safety crew. All right, and the referee, typically you have three referees for every race. There's the head referee who tends to be up front. There's the middle referee who tends to watch the back or the middle, and then the third referee would watch the back. Most of your infractions are going to be happening up front. The athletes who are vying for a medal or for a win. Some of that will happen in the middle, not so much in the back. The referees are watching for the conduct of the race. The lifeguards are the ones that are watching. But anybody can Google the recommendation for the number of athletes or the number of lifeguards for open water swim or for a triathlon. You'll find all kinds of safety plans where that is addressed. The Flower Sea Swim, one of the safest swims in the world. They had stations along the shoreline, and then they had lifeguards that were in the course and then off the course. And as the back swimmer would come down, the lifeguards that they would pass would come in behind so that the athletes that would be most in danger of having an issue had the most people watching them. It's a brilliant strategy. And they would just follow so they pick up more and more lifeguards as they go. That's what I would recommend. But, typically you're looking at, you want to be able to get to any swimmer in trouble inside 30 seconds.
Okay, there are small, there are big people. How can you monitor that there's already the person who is sinking?
I want to make sure I understand your question. Number one, we're talking about
Yes,
competitive
yes.
swimming. And somebody who is overweight and, can't make it out
Uh-huh.
to the start before they're already in jeopardy of drowning has no business even entering the
Yeah,
water.
in, yeah.
We're talking about people who are
Mhm.
qualified or skilled enough to be able to handle a full intense pool workout. If they can't do that, they have no business going out into the open water. You're asking for trouble. So that's why we constantly talk about the training for it. If they can do this, then they can do this. If they can't do this, then they can't do this. Hope I'm understanding your question, but it sounds to me like you're asking about an individual or individuals that shouldn't have been in the water in the first place if right off the bat they're already having difficulty. Is that addressing your question?
How do you screen? Because there are open water competitions for small time organizers. The small time organizers are not used on like for example swim junkies or whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
um, they have about less than 100, but those less than 100, I saw people bulky, a lot of muscles. Oh God, I'm quite afraid that this this muscled man might sink. Okay, yeah, that's what I
Well,
see.
yeah. Now, if you have that muscle man in your workout and they can't do your workout because they build up too much lactic acid and then they become too tight and they got to
Yeah.
take a break. They shouldn't be. You don't let them do open water. Now, what you may be watching is somebody else's poor decision. Does that make sense? Right? So you're seeing this big old
Yeah.
bulky guy, you know, muscles, right? And somebody else said he could go
Mhm.
swim. That's not you, and it's not your swimmer. So all you can do is watch and go, I hope he
Mhm.
makes it. Or you got to be, you know, um, smart enough to say, I got to keep an eye on this
Mhm.
guy. And not only that, but he's going to be pretty strong if he starts to struggle and I try and
Yeah.
help him. You know, he's going to tip the boat over. Again, if you are a coach and you've got that swimmer in your pool and they're bulky, I mean, we all know that lean is usually pretty good for
Yeah.
a swimmer. Lean and mean, right? More muscle mass, the more lactic acid they can
Yeah.
generate, and that's typically a swimmer's
Yeah. Yeah.
nightmare. If that's the case, then you've got to test that swimmer. Hey, I want you to swim a 3,000. I'm going to put you over in this lane. We're going to swim a 3,000 straight in the pool. If they can't do that, then don't put them in a 5K race. I wouldn't put them in a 1,000K race until they're until they've proven their ability to be able to do that.
Yes, coach. As an organizer, when you see that you're doubting already, can you have the authority to decline the entry?
You always have authority to
Yes.
decline anybody. It's like a restaurant. Well, here in the
Mm.
states, restaurant owner can decline service to just about
Mm.
anybody, and if they feel like it's in their not in their best interest. But that's why they sign waivers. And if you needed to, you could also say you could put in a time limit. So let's say you're going to do a 5K or a 10K, and you have a time qualifier. They have to be able to do a 3,000-meter swim in a pool under 45
Mm.
minutes. If they can't do that and they can't verify it, and it's not officially signed by a referee that vouches that they did that, then they can't swim in your race. In the U.S., you just wouldn't find that where somebody, if it's a masters meet, that's different than what we're talking about. We're talking about an age group swim, and usually age groupers aren't that bulky, and usually come from a program where a coach is qualified to be able to say they're safe to swim. It's not that common. If you're mixing age group with master swimmers, that's a different scenario. And I can't speak to masters rules and regulations as well as I can the other. Really concerned about it. One way would be to put in a time
Yeah.
limit where they have to have completed a 3,000, so they can at least go that far.